Thursday, May 11, the Creator on the Cross. However much we can and do marvel and worship the Lord as our Creator, there's more to it. As we have already seen, but worth looking at again, is the idea that our Creator also is our Redeemer. The God who created us is the same God who redeemed us. The God who said, "Let us make man in our image according to our likeness," in Genesis 1:26, is the same one who on the cross cried out, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani," that is, my God, why have you forsaken me?" in Matthew 27:46. Talk about the reason to fear God, even more so, to give glory to him and to worship him as well. How can we as fallen human beings adequately respond to such an amazing truth as this? What could we possibly do in response? We are told in the first angel's message what to do in Revelation 14:7, "Fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment has come, and worship him who made heaven and earth, the sea and springs of water." Read John chapter 19, verses 16 to 30, John's account of Jesus on the cross. As you read it, think of the Bible text that we have looked at about Jesus as Creator, as the one by whom all things were created that are in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created through him and for him, Colossians 1:16. How are we to respond to this amazing expression of God's love? Well, John chapter 19, beginning at verse 16, "Then he delivered him to them to be crucified. Then they took Jesus and led him away. And he, bearing his cross, went out to a place called the place of a skull, which is called in Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him and two others with him, one on either side, and Jesus in the centre. Now Pilate wrote a title and put it on the cross, and the writing was, 'Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews.' Then many of the Jews read this title, for the place where Jesus was crucified was near the city, and it was written in Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. Therefore the chief priests of the Jews said to Pilate, 'Do not write the King of the Jews, but he said, I am the King of the Jews.' Pilate answered, 'What I have written, I have written.' Then the soldiers, when they crucified Jesus, took his garments and made 4 parts, to each soldier a part, and also the tunic. Now the tunic was without seam, woven from the top in one piece. They said therefore among themselves, 'Let us not tear it, but cast lots for it, whose it shall be, that the scripture might be fulfilled, which says, They divided my garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots.' Therefore the soldiers did these things. Now there stood by the cross of Jesus his mother and his mother's sister, Mary the wife of Cleopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus therefore saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing by, he said to his mother, 'Woman, behold your son.' Then he said to the disciple, 'Behold your mother.' And from that hour that disciple took her to his own home. After this, Jesus, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scripture might be fulfilled, said, 'I thirst.' Now a vessel full of sour wine was sitting there, and they filled a sponge with sour wine, put it on hyssop, and put it to his mouth. So when Jesus had received the sour wine, he said, 'It is finished,' and bowing his head, he gave up his spirit." The first angel's message to worship the Creator came after the cross, after it had become known to the onlooking universe and to Christ's followers that the one who made heaven and earth, the sea and the springs of water, is the same one who, though being God, took the form of a bondservant and came in the likeness of men. And being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient to the point of death, even the death of the cross, as you read in Philippians 2, verses 7 and 8. What an amazing spectacle that must have been to those who knew Jesus before he came to earth as a human being. No wonder heavenly beings worship him as well. As for us, redeemed by his blood, what else could we do but worship our Creator and our Redeemer? And so to finish today, why is the idea, in light of the cross, of fallen human beings being able to add anything to what Christ did on the cross, such a heretical idea? Which of our works could add to what the Creator already has done for us? This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. Sponsored by the Sabbath School Department and distributed through Hope Channel Australia, this podcast is also redistributed by Hope Channel Germany, Christian Record Services for the Blind. It is also available on SoundCloud and through multiple podcast distributors, including Apple iTunes. And you can listen and watch at the same time on YouTube. Remember, God is always faithful.